Yeah, so you've heard of bring your own booze, right? There's these acronyms, BYOD, bring your own device. Now you're going to have kind of bring your own AI. And so just the last couple of years, I've done several Gen AI talks for universities, conferences, clients. Show of hands, how many folks are allowing their employees to use some type of generative intelligence tool, whether it be Copilot for development, your marketing teams? See a few more hands that I've seen, a year ago. So that's good, right? So the adoption is happening faster. But as these devices, I want to ask this question: as AI-driven devices, become more commonplace in the workplace, how prepared is your organization to enable your teams to work alongside these AI devices as a daily companion, right? Something that you have to think about. And if you see, we're really at day one of AI, right? And we're riding on top of these past waves. You saw kind of the internet, right? And then you saw a faster spike in smartphones. You're seeing an even faster spike in AI, right? So these devices are coming, right? And if we look back through kind of history, right? I want to kind of take a few steps back into kind of the journey of some of these technologies in the workplace, right? So if we looked at kind of business phones, way back in the day, these were met with skepticism, resistance. Companies preferred using the telegraph or mailing someone a letter or having a physical conversation, right? Same thing with AI, right? I mean, people are skeptical, right? People don't trust it. People didn't trust the telegram back in the day, or trust the telephone back in the day, right?
But famous quote that we were discussing yesterday, like, what if we can call between cities, but what if I have nothing to say to someone that lives in a city far away from me? So why would I use the technology?
And then next, if we just look at PCs, right? In the beginning, right, these things were very expensive, very bulky. Businesses were like, well, we already have typewriters, right? We already have calculators, right? We don't need these PCs, but the business value was there, and then they were adopted. Same with smartphones and the internet, right? I remember, I think the BlackBerry, or at least in the US, we called them crackberries because they were very addictive. Just people were doing their emails, right? They could do them anywhere, right? In their car, in the restroom, wherever. And so again, once the business value was there, these things started getting adopted quickly. So that's kind of just, if we look at history, right, how we can see kind of these devices kind of coming into kind of the workplace. And so now I just want to, let's jump into the devices, right? So let's meet some of these new AI companions. Yes. And I'll start with this, which is kind of the Rabbit R1, and I'll play a little video so you can kind of see the features.
Start my morning routine.
Order me an Uber and find me a good podcast to pass the time. Oh, and tell everybody that I might be late.
That was delicious. Check the fridge and order the ingredients to make that again tomorrow.
Create a route that works with my goals. Then, start the best playlist to keep me motivated.
Watch what I'm doing here. Process all my new photos today just like this.
Find us a nice restaurant near here, then get us there.
Take me to the best spot to catch the sunset, and lead me through a meditation.
Play my favorite song.
I'm on it.
So this is the Rabbit R1. There was a lot of hype around it, and if folks have kind of read up in the news, right, it was kind of overhyped. It was a little disappointing, but again, I'll show you one of the features here.
I just wanted to ask you, I know, like...
Give me some news.
Can you hear it?
Give me some news.
Searching for latest news.
So you'll see, right? I mean, so it's a lot of the features it has. Yeah, you can see the delay with the Wi-Fi. So I'll kill that.
A bit different than the marketing video.
Correct. And I know what people ask is I can just do this with Siri, right, or some other devices.
Exactly. I just wanted to ask you that.
So the idea behind this is the use of what they call large action model, right? So I know it's in its early stages. It's an early device, right? So consider it kind of beta. But if you think, right, if I'm in the U.S., right, we have some competing rideshare companies, right? And so what I would do traditionally is open up Uber, put in my destination, look at the price. I would open up Lyft, which is another competing rideshare service, put it in the destination, look at the price, and I would want the cheapest one, right? But that's a lot of work for me. So the idea behind these large action models is they can kind of go off and do some things for you. So I can just say, hey, I got to get here, find me the cheapest ride, right? And it's going to go off, find the cheapest ride, book me the ride, and do it all for me. That's the vision for this device.
Okay, so technically it has a lot of different connections to different systems that it can read from, compare, and give you the answer.
That's kind of the idea behind it.
The agent systems that we will be talking about later on as well, a little foreshadowing of the next presentation.
Yeah, they might have been a little early, but
yes.
Again, they have something out there now. They're improving upon it.
We saw this agent systems are now at the. I'm also now going to explain something a little bit. I'm sorry, but they are really at the top of the hype right now, and we'll see more and more adoption over time as it gets more mature. So this is just the first try, although very impressive still.
So that was the Rabbit R1. Next are the Meta Ray-Ban glasses. So I don't wear prescription glasses, so these I use as kind of blue light glasses, but they're smart kind of devices from Meta in their partnership with Ray-Ban. So I'll show some of the features of this.
Listen to music without muting the world around you. Live stream your creations from your POV. Take calls without interrupting your flow. Capture your unique perspective in an instant, straight from your glasses. The next generation of smart glasses by Ray-Ban and Meta.
Yeah, so these devices, right? I mean, you'll see these come into the workplace more, right? I mean, I can sit here, and again, I need to prove that I was here so I could expense this. So, hey, Meta, take a picture. Okay, but there are use cases for it, right? I've taken conference calls on this because, again, sometimes I don't like wearing earpods all day. And then my table mate, Ben, he has the prescription ones, and then, he was getting text messages from his wife who just arrived, right? So it was, relaying them to him through this, and no one can hear this, right? When it speaks to me, the technology's, I'm the only one that can hear it.
Yeah, so it's very difficult to demonstrate from this stage to everyone like how it works, but I also tried it from you yesterday, and I mean, I was holding a bottle of water, and I asked, what am I holding, which I can see, but I can see this having applications with people with impaired eyesight, for example, where they can ask for questions, and then ask questions, and it can tell them what's happening around them, which is quite a nice application.
Right. Yeah, and there will be more and more features released. There'll probably be more and more kind of manufacturers that are making these types of glasses. The form factor now, I think it's not as bulky as some of the original kind of smart glasses that from a few years ago. Yeah. So these are the Meta smart glasses. Next is the AI pen from Humane. So I'll play a little video so you can see the features of this device.
Isn't life about what we experience, what we smell?
Can I eat this?
Yes, dragon fruits are low in sugar.
What we hear?
Hey, what should I get here?
我在这里该点什么呢？
What we see?
Oh. Capture this.
And what we feel? What if we build more memories?
What are some fun things to do nearby?
Share more moments.
Can we play songs from the last time we were here?
What would happen if we rediscover our senses? What if devices weren't the experience?
Catch me up.
Lucy called and your flight is at 7 a.m.
Tell Lucy I'm on my way.
What if life was?
AI pin.
Yeah, so this is the AI pin. It's got a magnet, right, that I can kind of affix to my clothing. But you'll see, again, now I'm hands-free, right? Because today everybody's always on their phones, right? I think Tyus had the Darwin, right, where we, kind of man became upright, right? But, I see everybody going like this. So are we going to go back to this, right, with the, just having thumbs like on our screens and hunched over? But this is meant to be hands-free, similar to kind of the Rabbit. Just being able to do kind of your day-to-day and work items, right, all through this, right, by just tapping, and it kind of, it has, camera on it. You can interact, it's got large language model behind the scenes, but another device that, again, early stages, but it's out there on the market.
How does it work in practice? Can you use it for something? Have you used it for something in, like with clients, taking pictures, summarization?
Not yet, right? So again, just using the cool technology about this is it doesn't have a screen, but as you hold your hand out, as you saw in the video, it'll project onto your hand, and you can interact with that interface, right, through gestures, right? You can go through navigation, you can click buttons, So yeah, there's some UX to that and some controls.
Interesting.
So next is a device from a company called Buob, and I'll play a video, but it's a note-taking device. But let me play the video so you can see the features.
Hey, Mike. Before the upcoming negotiation, let's go over some key details. I've got Todd on this call too. Here's what we need to bear in mind.
We've all had those moments when an important call just catches us off guard. But how does Todd manage this, you might ask? Introducing Buob Note, a ChatGPT-empowered AI voice recorder for note-taking. Buob Note is a revolutionary device that easily records meetings, iPhone calls, and beyond. It instantly transcribes recordings into time-coded text and even summarizes your transcription and makes mind maps for you in no time. Sometimes notes poorly taken in a rush can get us in a pickle. But luckily, Todd recorded the entire call, thanks to Buob Note. The recording has been auto-synced to the free-to-use app, where ChatGPT precisely transcribes and summarizes crucial information. In certain scenarios, this could make or break.
Wow, yeah. She was impressed.
Yep, so this little tiny device, Buob, I know I got McKeel hooked on it, but I use this all the time, right? In workshops and meetings with clients, I'm like, hey, can I record this? I'll throw this on the table. We're in a large room, right? And it picks up all the recordings. And even the summaries, right? People are like, well, Teams can do that, right? But this has several options for different types of summaries, like a Q&A, key insights, and even the mind map feature, right? So this has been a great tool that we're starting to use, right, when we do workshops and client meetings.
So you actually use this with clients. Can you show us some examples?
Yeah, so again, this is one I can share. It was part of a kind of a workshop with a client, but again, I only took part of it, and this was just a 20-minute meeting. But I've had this thing go for 3 hours in a workshop with a client, captured everything, and was able to kind of synthesize that down. That way, we didn't have to spend the time taking notes. We could focus on the client or the workshop. Again, just a sample of some of the transcription.
This saves quite a lot of time. Workshops can be really tricky with the note-taking.
Absolutely. And next is just ChatGPT on your phone, right? I mean, just the app on your phone. If folks have used it, it's been a godsend to us. And a real-world example I'll give to this is we did a workshop for a client, and the location had it was all windows, right? Yeah, so we were like, oh my gosh, right? Usually we would take pictures of the Post-it notes, and then we would have to kind of synthesize that down. And you'll see it's hard to read these Post-it notes from the pictures. So what we did was we just pulled out ChatGPT on our phone, took the pictures, asked it to synthesize that data. Again, we had every window. There's probably about a dozen windows in this space. But it basically cut the work down that we would take days, if not a week, to kind of pull it all together, summarize it, synthesize it, and then hand that back to the client. It cut that time down, right? And here's an example output of this, right? So this was, the one window I showed with that theme for that window was win bigger deals, right, for this particular client, right? So again, as they were kind of Post-it noting, right, it had no context for who this client was, or anything about the industry, but it gleaned all this from the notes, and this was more accurate than our note taker that we had in the session with us. So again, this little demo, when we gave the output to the client, blew them away.
Nice example of how AI can be used to help a person.
Yeah, and then again, I know the Apple iPhone, right, is going to have kind of Apple Intelligence there. It's not there yet, but again, you're going to see more and more of this come into the workplace. So. What's next is just these tools, right? So if we look at kind of the printing press, it's really, democratized, information. And these devices, right, Gen AI and some of these devices are going to democratize intelligence. And then before I wrap with kind of the closing thoughts, I do want to show that, hey, this is already proliferating kind of, our world, right? So this is, and I'll set the stage here, right? This is this person's roommate shot a video of them. This was their first day on the job. They were meeting with the client. And what you'll see is they have on the right-hand side, they have a Gen AI tool. that is kind of listening in real time during that meeting, and then it's providing the answer. So I'll play a little bit of it, and I'll show you the output from that.
This is your first day joining the company, and we're excited to let you lead a project from our customers, right? So this is a healthcare client, and we want you to analyze the patient flow and the operational process within the hospital. What kind of proposal you would think about? And can you share your thoughts, and then we can discuss?
Sure, that's a great question. Let me think about it.
Catch up.
So, based on my experience as a consultant, I will approach the healthcare project by first conducting a thorough analysis of the patient flow and operational process within the hospital, right? This will involve identifying any bottlenecks or inefficiencies that may cause long waiting times for the patient. This could include things like streamlining the processes, improving resource allocation, and implementing technology solutions where it can be used.
Right. So again, this is already.
What do you think?
What do you think?
So before we proceed to the next step, do you want to ask?
Yeah. So these devices, they're already being used, right? And I've met with several clients across different industries, and I ask them. They say, hey, they block ChatGPT at my work, right? Or we don't have Office Copilot. But what my clients tell me is, well, they're just using it on a personal device, using it on their phone. Developers are spending extra effort, right? They're coding in their company environment, but then they're using kind of ChatGPT, and then they have to kind of almost copy and paste and kind of hack their way of taking it from these tools back. So just embrace it in the enterprise. So just a couple of the key takeaways, right, from this is just it's not always right, as we know. This could also lead to intellectual laziness, right? If we kind of just take it verbatim like the consultant did in the video, and again, you can't stop it. Like I said, it's already being used. It's already infiltrated a lot of organizations. But see it as a enabler, right? It allows you to do kind of things more efficiently, faster. You can get more done. So just embrace it.
Yeah. Embrace it to everyone in the room. Yeah. It's already here. People are just going to work around it. So it's better to set the policies and the way of working. Thank you for showing us the gadgets, Mike.
Thank you.
It was very interesting.